Hello, I'm Lauren Mather with the Orange County Library System here at the Hiawassee branch in Orlando, Florida on January 9th, 2013, capturing memories from our community. Please tell us your name and where you're from.
Yes, I'm Reverend Michael Kimbrough, and I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I arrived here in the Orlando area in December 2002. I'm married to Barbara Kimbrough, been married 24 years, and we came here to specifically plant a church, to start a church here, and we landed in the Pine Hills area. So in 2003, January 2003, we began working on Rising Sun Baptist Church here in the Pine Hills, and our location was the Evans Ninth Grade Center on Silver Star and the Lake Stanley Road. So we began there, and our mission, as we looked at our community of Pine Hills, we seen the struggles and the challenges of Pine Hills. Of course, when we got here, they still had that big stigma of crime hills. So that became our mission to how do we change that stigma. So we really got engaged in the community, worked with several of the local apartments around our community, and got involved in creating activities for the apartment complex, games, and bringing missionaries here to impact the community with sports camps and educational, spiritual education. Just really being community-minded and engaged in community. Keep going?
Yeah.
I can keep going?
Yeah,
Okay. As I branched out more in the community, we noticed that the community had great people, Pine Hills great people, but most people were scattered and doing their own thing. There was no sense of really collaboration, working together. Like the school, Evans had the 11th grade and had been with them for quite a while, and the community wasn't really engaged in Evans, and all the different churches was doing their own thing, doing their own little kingdoms, in my perspective. So one of my said, well, how do we really start engaging community? So I looked around and seeing who was doing what, and I got engaged in the Pine Hills Council, very active Pine Hills Council, and then the Pine Hills Safe Neighborhoods as well. So began to see some of the players in the Urban League in the community, but yet everybody was still kind of individuals doing their own programs without coming together. And we noticed that there was a kind of a stigma of Pine Hills, not just being crime hills, but it was the castaway child out of Orange County, I believe. That's kind of what I felt, that no one really cared about Pine Hills, except the people that was in Pine Hills, and people was giving up on it. So I made it a purpose and intentional to kind of be out front and totally, really, really engaged. So as we was developing the church, I got involved in Evans High School. Since our church was meeting there, so I began to get involved there and was got engaged with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So we were able to do some Bible studies inside the Ninth Grade Center, which was really good. We made a commitment to volunteer at the school, to work with after-school programs, to work with tutoring and mentoring as well. And out of the school, again, we got involved with the council, see what the council was trying to do, some engagement in the council. But part of our overall vision for the church, when I say overall, it's the the Rising Sun Baptist Church. That part of our vision not only be active in the community, but performing arts as well was part of our overall vision and plan. So in 2005, we started Shine Performing and Creative Arts, because we looked in our community and we seen so much talent in our community, but it was just dying in the streets or ended up down at the local jail, 33rd Street Jail. So we asked, what do we do? How do we tap into this talent here? How do we bring a change through the arts? So we created Shine Performing Creative Arts, saying that letting people know that you was created to be creative, that everybody has creativity. So how do we tap into that creativity? How do we help build godly character with it? And then help them perfect it, give them a venue to showcase it and to bring about transformation in the community. So We began that through a partnership with Evans High School, using their facility, bringing in teachers from different places like Disney and Universal Studios, some other partners that we have from other churches that come and help develop some of the talent in this community. But we found our niche in theater arts. So we put on in 2008, in 2008, 9, and 10, we put on 3 big productions dealing with issues that were relevant to our community. Issues like the absence of the father in the home, racism, alcoholism, teen pregnancy, and so we found that niche in theater, and we began to have a reputation for good quality theater in Pine Hills. So that was one of the greatest, I guess, feelings that I have since I've been here, is that we were able to draw people into this community, a community that people had deemed, dangerous. So people was coming, and 2008. Yeah, I think the 2000 when we were doing the theater, I also got involved with a local ministerial alliance called Kingdom Network Empowering Communities. And with that relationship, I became kind of a chairperson for, not the executive director, but more so a chairperson of some of the meetings. And we got engaged in crime prevention for our community. We started the Stop the Killing, Start Living, Choose Peace movement. In 2008, crime was just kind of out the roof or off the chart in Orange County. The murder rate was up to 230 murders in Orange County in 2008. So we began this Stop the Killing, Start Living movement, working with local businesses, Orange County Sheriff Office, Orange County government, to put on a big rally. In fact, we just had our 5th annual rally just this past October. And the rally was more so to bring community together for collaboration on what do we do about crime in our community, how do we get more people engaged in community watch and community service and volunteerism, and take pride in the community. And at that same time, we started seeing the community that was once splintered starting to come together. Okay, and the issue was that the crime was off the roof. How do we begin to change that stigma for crime in our community? So the Stop the Killing, Start Living, Choose Peace movement is known in the community now. Everybody kind of look forward to that rally, and that's a big success story there. In 2010, going forward with the performing arts, I founded and established the Pine Hills Community Performing Arts Center, which now we can say that we have a performing arts center in Pine Hills. Because again, we had the location, but when they start rebuilding Evans, then we no longer had a location, so we had to reach out in the community. So we found a storefront in the plaza on Kirkland and 50, where it was a grassroots movement to get this performing arts center started. And our model there is transforming lives in community through the arts, where we have after-school art program, community theater, art gallery, and just a place to really just gather and just celebrate community. We're trying to, our overall vision for the Pine Hills Performing Arts Center is that it would be the catalyst for a art district for Pine Hills. Art district for Pine Hills. So just been a really good, since I've been in 2002, just really active, hands to the plow, and trying to make a difference, trying to make a change. I guess something that I'm really, really excited about for the community, not just for myself, but I was there when Evans was an F school, and an F and the F, a D and the F. But to see Evans move from the F to the C, now B school, that's something to really be proud of as a community. And to see now the community that was once again scattered, coming together and saying that we're going to work together, we're going to stay together, and we will not be looked over anymore by Orange County. So it's been a great journey.